1.
Hey, 8th grade. So today during your independent station, we're going to be working on a lesson on theme. So in your packet, I'd like for you to turn to the page that says Independent Station Theme Review. Sorry, and it should look like this right at the top of the page. Independent Station Theme Review. This space is where you're going to take notes while I go through the lesson on the PowerPoint. So pay attention. There might be times where I tell you to put down your pencil. There might be times where you're taking notes on your own or filling in blanks. So please pay attention as we go through. So we're going to start by thinking about what is a theme. The following definitions are all definitions of theme. In the box that says what is a theme, I'd like for you to take down the definitions that mean the most to you. So a theme is the message, moral, or lesson of a story. It can be what the author believes about big topics. A theme is what the author wants you to understand or take away from the story. And a theme is also what the characters learn in the story. So when we're thinking about theme, we think about all of these things. Oftentimes, we just define it with the message, moral, or lesson. These definitions down here are going to help you understand what does that mean, message, moral, or lesson. So pause your video and take a second to write down at least 2 of these definitions, if not all 4. So a theme is not a topic. Topics are just one-word answers, things like love, hate, friendship, loyalty. Topics are important to help you find a theme, but a theme is never going to be one word. So let's see, how do we actually find a theme? Step 1, we read and annotate your text. You should be filling in the blanks in your notes as I'm going through these steps. So we first need to read and annotate, underline, make notes in the margins, circle words in our text. We will be looking for those annotations both in your work today, in your work tomorrow, and on your MLQs on Wednesday and Thursday. Step 2, you make a list of topics in your text. So those words like love, hate, friendship, loyalty. You're going to make a list of those. And then in step 3, you choose the topic that you think is the most important. So if you have love and friendship and loyalty, you want to think about which of those 3 topics is most relevant to your text. For step 4, you write a the author believes statement about the topic. We're going to talk more about that and what that looks like in a second. And for step 5, we have to make our theme universal. Universal means that it does not just relate to that story or that specific character, but it can relate to many stories. So we'll look at what that looks like as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do passage practice number 1 together. I'm going to read, and while I read, just follow along. I'm not going to annotate on here just because it's my presentation, but normally we would be annotating. Mike, could you please fix the leak in the roof? Katie asked her husband politely, but he was sick of what felt like his wife nagging him. I'll get to it when I get to it, he replied briskly. A small drip drop of water collected in a cooking pot on the living room floor. The next time it rained, Katie had to use a large bucket. The leak was growing in size. Mike, I really need you to patch the roof. It is getting worse, Katie warned her husband. But again, he was in no mood to take direction. Do I really need to keep saying this, Katie? I'm tired from working. I want to watch the game. I will patch the leak later. But Mike did not patch the leak, and it continued expanding. A few weeks later, a torrential rainstorm hit. The water poured through the roof. Some of it may have damaged the floor, but Mike didn't even seem to notice until the rains fell on his widescreen television. So now what we do for step number 2 is make a list of topics. Some of the topics I thought of were marriage, procrastinating, which means putting something off, fighting or nagging, and damage and destruction. Go ahead and write those down in your list of topics on your notes. The topic that I choose for step number 3 is procrastinating or putting something off. So go ahead and circle that on your topics. So I'm choosing this one because I think that the most important topic is the fact that Mike kept putting something off, that he was procrastinating. Now I need to write my author believes statement. This is where I think about, what does the author believe about that topic that I chose? What does our author believe about procrastinating? The author believes that Mike procrastinates and doesn't care about Katie's feelings until it affects something he cares about. So the author is believing that the character they're creating doesn't care about his wife's feelings until he is affected by it. Go ahead and pause the video so you can write down your the author believes statement. So finally, what I need to do is make it universal. The way that I make it universal is I cross out the author believes, and I cross out anything that is only specific to this story. So the character Mike, the character Katie, and what I have left is that procrastinates and doesn't care about something until it affects something cares about. I have to think about, how do I turn that into a theme? So I know that our author believes that procrastinating is not a good thing, and that our character keeps procrastinating until it affects something he cares about. So when I get to my final theme, if you procrastinate, you end up losing the things you care about. So if you keep putting things off and putting things off, that really can affect the way that your life works and things that you care about. So go ahead and pause your video so you can write down theme. Now what's going to happen is you have the next passage, final practice passage, to do on your own. You're going to complete each of the steps. Read and annotate the passage that looks like this. Make your list of topic, choose your topic, write your the author belief statement, and make it universal. This entire page, the final passage practice, right here, needs to be complete by the end of your independent station. And once you finish that, you're going to go on to your independent vocabulary practice with the words from last week. You'll still have a quiz on using these words in context at the end of this week, so it's important that we continue to practice. You can use Quizlet to help you. You can Google to help you, but this part of your packet also needs to be complete. If you have any questions, raise your hand. Good luck.